I wonder, in the coverage of the past week or two of this episode, has anything stuck out as particularly absurd in terms of reporting about the Hillary announcement, the De Blasio non-endorsement, anything in between?
So I don't want to necessarily call it absurd because I would presume that I wouldn't write this or do this myself, and I'm not going to judge my colleagues too harshly.
Sells papers.
But there are video clips out of Iowa of reporters chasing the Scooby van.
Oh, God. And the Scooby van is coming up right here, right behind our camera. Here it is. There she goes, and Secret Service following behind her. Okay, they're going around to the back, so we're not gonna. You can see the media running behind me here to chase the Scooby van.
Wow.
And she's going around to the back.
And it's so amusing. And this is not to say that if I wasn't on the ground out there at that moment, I wouldn't do the same, because you get caught up, and you think she's going to go in the front door, and she goes in the back door, so of course you're going to chase them down. But there's dozens of cameramen and reporters sprinting around the building and to chase a van. It's not even like her necessarily.
And when they added the Benny Hill music in the background and sped it up a little bit, it was just
it's good TV. It's good TV.
It was so good. Yeah, that was pretty absurd.
How about
And
for
then
you?
The security cam footage of her in Chipotle, and the articles about what that means, that she's going to Chipotle over another fast food place, or what she didn't tip. I can't believe she didn't tip, and what
he tips at Chipotle.
Sure.
I got to pay for that guacamole at least. What the server who served her, what that person made, and sort of a discussion about minimum wage. I mean, yeah, that's a valid conversation to have, but it just seemed kind of funny. I think the funniest thing I saw was somebody posted a screenshot of her at the Chipotle with the dark glasses on, and Huma was right behind her, and it said something like "presidential candidate robs a local Chipotle," because it just looked really kind of shady, the whole image. So that was ridiculous.
There was an article, I won't name the reporter or the source, but there was an article suggesting that the reason why De Blasio had not endorsed was because he, in fact, was trying to position himself to be drafted as the presidential candidate of the Democratic left.
Yes, because that's what this is all about.
Right, because this was all about. And, in terms of De Blasio getting some juice out of this, I guess that's how it could go the other way. I mean, if this becomes perceived as purely an ego trip or about some sort of nascent White House ambition, then his effort to build up a national stature around issues, he loses that, right? I mean, is there anything at all to the presidential speculation?
I wish I knew how much he liked being asked this question, because he gets asked almost at every press availability he has, the same question different ways. His answer is always no, no, no. And I think even yesterday a colleague asked whether he's running for president, whether he wants to be asked to run for president, and whether he's positioning himself to run for president. So if you ask different ways, maybe you'll get a different answer, but so far he's been pretty...
She acknowledged afterwards that she forgot to ask whether he's running for vice president.
Oh, yes.
Which she was kicking herself for. But yeah, no, it would I think the New York political press corps would implode if Bill De Blasio decided to run for president at this stage in his career. He's a year, and a couple months into his, mayoral term. The idea of him running for president at this point is absurd. Now, would he turn his nose up at a, hashtag draft De Blasio movement? I doubt it. I'm sure that he would, take that home and kind of giggle to himself about it. But I doubt that that's the honest and legit reasons behind the things that he's doing. I think no one doubts his sincerity about wanting to fight income inequality and wanting to reduce the amount of poverty that exists. But he obviously has political ambitions as well. I think that's yet to play out though over the next 5 or 6 to 10 years.